Most animals are much higher in their ethics than we are.
So then if that's
I think
the case,
most animals will be insulted to be called a human.
Point being, so if that's the case, then if we have souls, they have souls as well.
When you said that, Felix, I'm thinking of Planet of the Apes. Where everything was
exactly.
reversed.
Well, no, just think about it. We kill for pleasure.
Man is the only animal who kills for pleasure.
Exactly.
Most animals only kill for food or for protection.
Yeah, so
Yep.
We kill animals for glory.
Yep.
Or for God.
Whatever.
In the name of God.
Or they sacrifice animals.
Yeah, we do a lot of things
different
in the name of God.
religions and all that. Like I said, animals don't do things like that. Like I said, they do to survive and to protect themselves. Otherwise, I don't think there's too many types of animals that actually just kill for the pleasure. I know there's a couple of animals that just kill, and almost nobody kills their own kind. It's almost unheard of.
Only, when you think of, the king of the hill, okay, the leader of the pack, the alpha dog, so to speak, the one who's in command, he may fight, the other alpha dog to be the main leader.
A lot of animals do that. But most of the time, the injured one walks away.
They don't. They usually. It's very rare that they actually fight to the death, unless, in some instances, it does end up fighting to the death simply because the other one, dies from the wounds or whatever. But
so it's not. Anyway, I think we've neglected to tell
our phone number. I know.
It's 646-595-3275.
And we should tell people that the reason Ann knows the number is because she's psychic.
And she's also, when you go on the website, it has it. You don't really have to tell the audience the number. But the other thing is, I want you to hear this. It's not a very long song, but tell me what you think of this. It's quite interesting.
Some men make proclamations, shout them from on high. Some men walk right up to the brink of death and stare it in the eye. Some men toil beneath the earth, tired, shoveling coal. Every man's responsible for his own soul. Some men are successful, and some men are meek. Some men witness abuse and turn the other cheek. Some men are anonymous and some are CEOs. But every man's responsible for his own soul.
I like this.
Some men are independent from the first unto the last. Some men are wholly owned by Condé Nast. Some men talk of choice and lose sight of the goal. Every man's responsible for his own soul. Well, some men use their power to fight for what is right. Some men use their power to rile up and incite. Some men use their power to provide shelter to the trolls. And every man's responsible for his own soul.
That sounds like he's in the next room, you know?
Yes.
Well, the universe was born, the universe will die, and governments will rise and fall in the blink of an eye. Meanwhile, right now, someone's being harassed into a hole, and every man's responsible for his own soul.
Any comments?
Nope.
No comments?
Nope. Just
Don't like it?
perfect song for the topic.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Felix whipped it up.
I sang it just before. And
He wrote it yesterday, and he sang it for me when I got here. And I said, "You have to play that. It's really great." You know, one of his many talents.
I disguised my voice. I mean, it wasn't my whistling. I'm not happy with though. I could do a little better with my whistling.
Well, it couldn't be said any better, really, that we are all each responsible for the things that we do.
Right.
You know, and
Yep.
the fact that many people try to play it off and say, well, you know, because of this happened, or the bottom line is nobody makes you do anything. Man is given free will and a choice. We've discussed that before too, you know, and man makes his own choice. You know, it's just as simple as that.
You know, it took me a long time to find the right song to play. You know,
Well, I think Soul Man was terrific.
well, the Soul Man, that was right away. I knew about that one, but this one was really a lot more serious and a lot more to the point.
Well, it was much more serious, you know. Most definitely. You know, I was talking earlier about, you know, the inherent struggle within man of good and evil. And I used to teach the kids, you know, Jekyll and Hyde by Stevenson, and how I would say, you know, at the beginning, Henry Jekyll needs the formula to bring about the Jekyll character. I mean, the Hyde character, and the meaning of the word Edward Hyde, because he was hiding within Jekyll. And then after a while, and then when he wanted to change back, he would, of course, mix the chemicals. And, you know, it made for good reading and writing back during Stevenson's day. But then toward the end of the book, Jekyll was losing control, as men tend to lose control of their soul. And he found Edward Hyde becoming more powerful, the Edward Hyde character, who would manifest himself without any drugs at all. And Jekyll was losing control over him, and eventually the Hyde character took over. And, you know, Jekyll realized that there was unfortunately only one solution to the problem, which I know that organized religion and the Catholic Church would frown upon, all religions, and that would be suicide.
Except
in order
for
to free
Muslims.
What?
Except for Muslims.
Yeah, I know. They major in suicide,
they don't mind.
you know.
Suicide is good.
Only if they could take the infidel with them. But the bottom line is that in order to rid himself of the Edward Hyde character, Dr. Jekyll had to kill himself. You know, and that was the whole struggle within man of good and evil. Now, granted, that's taken to the nth degree, but it certainly shows the struggle that goes on within all of us. You know, if we grow up and we're too good, sometimes we want to just do one thing. You know, a lot of times you're asked the question, you know, have you ever done anything that you regret growing up? And it's a tough question to answer. I think most people would probably say no, and they would not be lying. But there's always a couple of people who, were tempted, and they do something that they regretted. Maybe they just weren't caught at it, But again, that's a struggle of good and evil, and it all has to do with soul and conscience.
Well, I always find it funny how people can justify doing certain things that are wrong.
I know what you're saying.
Victimless crime, you're robbing from an insurance company, or, what's the big deal taking a couple pieces of gum and sticking it in your pocket? Whatever it is.
Who's getting hurt, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
But what happens when I see people doing that is they keep going at it, and as they get old, as the kids grow up, they'll walk into a car that's running, and they'll steal the car or whatever. It starts. I think a lot of it starts when you're young.
When you're actually paying.
Yep.
But one thing I can never understand how somebody can kill. That's just like beyond my comprehension.
Well, then there's good killings and bad killings. In war, there's us against them.
Yeah.
And I remember reading a poem also to my class. I can't remember the title, but it was about World War I. And it happened to be a British soldier talking about obviously a German, and he said,
hold on, we got another call. This is reunion time. Am I dreaming, or is this Dan the Man?
This is Dapper Dan. Yes, it is.
Dapper Dan. All right.
Don't go away. Let me just finish what I was saying before I forget, because that's another one of my problems. The poet, the soldier, was saying that, the only thing that made them enemies was the fact that the man was wearing a different uniform. Okay? If they had met in a bar, they probably would have shared a drink and told old stories to each other. But the fact that one is wearing a British uniform and one is wearing a German uniform made all the difference. It's like the Civil War, brother against brother. The only thing that, they were all Americans. The only thing that made them enemies was the color of their uniform and what they believed in.
Yeah. All right, so let's see your point there, Mr. Dan.
Felix, how are you?
I think that's great, Ann.
Hello?
Ann?
You guys there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to put you on mute because Kayla's speaking. So
I happen to say that I think that's great. She was talking on the phone.
Yes, she was. She was on my lap, screaming into the phone.
She was giving her opinion.
She said dogs have souls.
See?
She said all dogs go to heaven.
Well, let's give Dan a second here. We're just drowning him out. He just called in.
I'm going to put you on mute.
Okay.
What's happening, kiddo?
Hey, Dan.
Hey, guys. Interesting topic. Obviously, with the man have a soul, but in the beginning, you went off topic to racism, and I want to add something to that. I agree with you, Mark, about that. Pretty much the only way to end it is if we keep having interrelationships, intermarriages, and offsprings, and pretty soon we'll all look alike, and then there will be no more.
It's true.
Color. I agree. Now, here's something interesting. There's a show on this week. I'm sure you guys heard of Dr. Oz.
Okay.
And he did a study, or not he, I guess he was doing